Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to 611 Rebirth. If there's no self, then who or what is being reborn by Khenpo Jordan. So that's interesting. I know very little about Buddhism, even though that's the thing that sparked my interest in Eastern philosophies, you could say. Even though I never really got a chance to get into it, I really wanted to get into Buddhism because that's the first thing that really stuck out whenever I was in world religions class, that life is suffering, which I don't disagree with. It's not to say that life is only suffering, but there is suffering in life, and a lot of things that you associate with happiness is actually also suffering, which you don't realize. So, anyways, it's very interesting to say then there's no self in Buddhism. I never heard, don't think I've heard it. No, I have not heard that in my world religions class a long time ago. Let's go ahead and get started.
So this has even from the on Buddhist point of view, Buddhist also has different schools, right? There are Indian Buddhism, for example, like you have known like 4 different schools. Each school has different ideas, of course. What really continues from this life to the next life? What came from the previous life? Of course, it is universally said is the mind, consciousness. The consciousness, because otherwise the body, of course, we all know, doesn't travel from this life to the next life. This body that I have didn't come from previous life, in previous life.
No, I would be technical, kinda. I don't mean to be like a-hole-ish, but I mean, technically our body does go into the ground, and then the plants eat us when we're decomposing, and then either the animals or we eat the plants. And then if the animals eat it, then we eat the animals, and then then we eat our old body. That'd be weird, but some stuff in this body is probably from someone that died a long time ago, because of our Earth is in fact recycling itself in a sense. But yeah, that is pretty interesting. The fact that he says that consciousness transfers between bodies, that's basically Atman. But from the last video, Buddhists don't believe in Atman. That's interesting. Let's see what he says about
So therefore,
that.
something according to Buddhism, believing in the past life and future life, something continues. So what is it? So this is, universally it's in the mind. But then talking about the mind itself, there are different things, there is the 6 consciousness, which is universally, even within all the Buddhist schools, except the 5 sense consciousnesses, like eye consciousness, ear consciousness, and so forth. And then the 6th one is the mental consciousness. And eye consciousness and ear consciousness, we know that these are connected with the eye organ or eye faculty. So therefore, again, that doesn't travel from this life to the next life. When our body is...
I'm sorry, I paused that because I thought Google had a problem translating because it said like a sense organ consciousness. I'm like, I must have I didn't quite hear it, but maybe I'll say it later on. But no, he literally means there's an eye consciousness and ear consciousness. So there's 6, and 5 of them, which is the sense organs, which have their own consciousness. Your mouth, your taste consciousness, your nose consciousness, your eyes, your ears, your touch. Huh. And then the 6th one, I'm assuming, is your intellect, brain, or something. Huh.
done, finished, then also eye consciousness doesn't, exist anymore. But mental consciousness, according to all the schools, mental consciousness continues. And the mental consciousness is the one that came from past to this life, and from this life it will go to the next. So this is according to all the schools of Buddhism. But then now, if we go deeper into the Buddhist schools themselves, then there is the Hinayana or Mahayana, or maybe you can say Sharvakayana, Partika Buddhayana, and Bodhisattvayana. right? The Bodhisattva yana is also equivalent of Mahayana. So then the getting into the Mahayana per se, particularly, then it has a different interpretation of what is this mental consciousness that is traveling from this life to the next life or came from past life. They don't say, they don't accept that the sixth mental consciousness travels from this life to the next life and came from past life. They have extra two more kind of main minds, if you like. So in addition to the six, then there is the afflicted mind or the defiled mind. And then the all-base consciousness or alaya vijnana in Sanskrit. So according to the Bodhisattva yana or the Mahayana, what continues from this life to next life, what came from past life, basically what is really continuing is the eighth one, the alaya vijnana or the all-base consciousness. So all-base consciousness is like a substratum, sometimes it's also used substratum, or it's like a big container where all of the imprints of our karma goes in, basically. This is the container where keeps everything. But, it's a kind of in the form of imprint, form of, in Tibetan, it's pakcha. So that is where then, it bears fruit, like these pakcha.
So, how I was talking about in some of my videos about how in Hinduism, even maybe in Advaita, but anyways, in Hinduism in general, again, I don't know how many different schools of there's like 6 major schools in Hinduism, but the different paths, like Advaita, Vedanta, I think there's 4 there. 3 of them are non-dualists, but they say they're non-dualists. 1 is truly non-dualist. 1 is truly dualist. 2 of them say they're non-dualists, but seem like they're dualists, according to Swamiji. But this makes sense in terms of how karma would work, because in a non-dualistic point of view, there is no separate person. So the karma that I do in this world affects everyone, because we are all Brahman. Therefore, whatever I do affects everyone, because karma cannot stay. It doesn't stay with me because I am not separate from you. There's no separation between all of us. So whatever I do affects everyone. Again, I want to explain that a bit deeper in my next answering comments part 2, especially with the comments that a lot of people said, and I want to clarify a few things. But here, there's a container that is being passed down from your past bodies to your current bodies. So at this point, whatever karma you accumulated will stay with you, because there's the separation between, in this point of view, me and you are 2 separate things. I have a container of my own karma, and you have a container for your own karma, and because we are separate, our containers will never mix. So whenever I die, my container goes to my next body, and same thing with you. And then whatever I do with my new body, well, my karma will affect my new body, and then whatever else I do with my new body will affect the karma in the container. And when I pass away, that karma container transfers to the next body, and then whether there's good or bad karma in there, assuming I'm getting karma correctly again, will influence your life. My life. And then the same thing happens with your body. As your karma container transfers between your bodies, your karma will affect how your life will, again, if I'm understanding karma correctly, but how your life will be affected, whether it be good or bad. And that's constantly being passed down to an individual, because in non-duality, I cannot say that I am me, because I am not me. I am Brahman, you are Brahman, everything's Brahman. So whatever I do affects everyone, because I am not me, I am everyone. I am Brahman. We are Brahman.
Blossoms, matures, and then it kind of gives rise to the results of non-favorable results, depending on, this is what it called the positive karma, negative karma, and maybe even the neutral karma. So that's why what really continues from this life to next life, according to the Mahayana, is the alaya vijnana. But even alaya vijnana will not continue all the way to Buddhahood. But when you attain Buddhahood, then this mind, alaya vijnana, will transform. It will not kind of cease to exist, but it will transform. It will transform into one of the Buddha's wisdoms. It's called, I think, mirror-like wisdom. So this is what the Mahayana interpretation is.
Is that everything? Yep. Okay. Okay. So his explanation seems to have been complicated, but it is because this is only my, again, very, very few videos on Buddhism in general. So I have a very, not even a basic understanding of it. But it's very interesting to know that there's no self. That is fascinating. There is no self. What does that even mean? There's no me? So that's interesting. That piqued my interest in terms of just that phrasing alone. There's no self in Buddhism. At least of the ones that I've heard. The 2 videos. It's 2 out of 2 so far. But yeah, again, so the karma makes sense here whenever there's dualism, because the karma can follow you because you are yourself, you're not everyone else, so therefore karma can only affect you. But in non-dualistic, because you are Brahman, we are Brahman, we're all Brahman, whatever karma, either if there is karma, then it affects everyone, but if there's no karma, then there's no karma. There's really nothing else to say about that. But again, I do want to explain it a little bit more. I hope I remember, and I hope the questions will kind of bring that back up, and I hope I can answer your questions correctly, or clarify my position on those questions that you have. Anyways, that's my reaction to Rebirth. There's no self, then who or what is being reborn? Khenpo, Jordan. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.